What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and just released new detailed information on the $3.5 trillion stimulus bill and the new price tag that we could be potentially looking at. And yes, this is your breaking news stimulus check update, stimulus package update, and debt ceiling crisis update. And take a look, you guys. We're seeing articles starting to come out like this. Democrats begin to narrow their differences on Biden's agenda bill. And that is because, as you know, right now the Democrats, they hold the majority in all of Congress, the House, the Senate, and the presidency, and they're trying to pass through stimulus and infrastructure, two parts of the Build Back Better agenda, through the process of reconciliation, which means just with their majority, they'll be able to push this through. However, Democrats, while they're in full control, seem to have split up into two separate groups that can't get along. We have progressives and moderates, and progressives are saying $3.5 trillion for stimulus, it's simply not enough. We'd like to see reoccurring monthly stimulus checks, federal unemployment extensions, tons of provisions that people need right now, and $3.5 trillion is simply not enough. We'd like to see $7 trillion, $10 trillion they're calling for, and they are not happy with the stimulus bill as it is. Now, in addition to that, we have moderate centrist Democrats that are a little bit more fiscally conservative, saying $3.5 trillion is not okay. It's too much spending. We need to cut this back. We're concerned about debt, inflation. How is this long-term going to be affecting our economy? And some of them are even saying we're okay with no stimulus. If we can't come to an agreement, that is fine. And we've heard Senator Joe Manchin say $1.5 trillion is the highest that I will go. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why are all of these members of Congress in such a powerful position? It's because they hold the majority by the slimmest of margins. And in order for them to pass this through the process of reconciliation, they have to get the majority. And in the Senate, it is currently split up 50-50, 50 Democrats and 50 Republicans. So they literally need every single Democratic senator on board. And right now, Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin are two senators that are saying they are not, and they want the price tag to come down. So you guys, we are getting detailed information coming out right now about closed doors negotiations and the price tag that we could be looking at for a potential compromise. Now, as you guys know, last week you saw all the drama unfold. The Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, tried to force the infrastructure bill through, and it would not, because we heard progressives united saying that Nancy Pelosi had betrayed them trying to pass through infrastructure without stimulus, and they denied it and said that they would wreck the infrastructure bill. And if they wrecked that, then the stimulus bill would be wrecked, and so would be the chances of increasing the debt ceiling, as all their fates are tied together. So they had to back off. And take a look, you guys. We're seeing articles like this. Pelosi handed a major defeat by rising progressive Democratic star as Biden agenda put on ice. And we saw video footage like this. Take a look, you guys. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi being handed a defeat as she could not pass through the infrastructure bill.
Speaker Pelosi, after hours of meetings, the two sides still seeing trillions of dollars apart. How do you bridge this gap?
How disappointed are you that there is no vote tonight, Madam Speaker?
There'll be a vote today.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Are you positive? Are you positive on pass?
Well, you say you're not trillions dollars apart. Management said it's still 1.5, so how are you not?
Thank you.
Now, who is that progressive Democratic star? Well, it is none other than the leader of the Progressive Democratic Caucus in the House of Representatives, Pramila Jayapal. And take a look what she had to say, you guys. I've never been as proud as the U.S. progressives as I am in this moment. Last night, we held strong for working families and stood up to corporate interests and lobbyists. And today, we keep fighting to deliver the president's entire agenda for the American people. So she's saying, yes, not just the infrastructure bill, but infrastructure and stimulus. We're going to be pushing it through. Now, you guys, also, she responded to Senator Joe Manchin. Right now, she is taking the lead on this. Take a look. That's not going to happen. Jayapal rejects Manchin's $1.5 trillion price tag for Biden's spending plan. And we're hearing that she is leading the charge right now on making sure that that stimulus bill stays up closer to that $3.5 trillion price tag. Take a look at this one, you guys. Pramila Jayapal. Perfect pitch. The Congressional Progressive Caucus chair is standing firm against Manchin, Sinema, and corporate centrists and winning accolades as a master negotiator. And you guys, we're going to be diving into this article in more detail, and we're going to be discovering what the new price tag could be for stimulus. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest, and we're going to dive right in as of today, October 5th, 2021. But before we do, if you could do me a quick favor, just takes a second. If you like and appreciate these updates, keeping up to date on all this stuff that's going on, don't forget, just take a quick second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Just lets the YouTube algorithm know that you think I'm doing a good job, and in turn, they're going to continue to promote my channel and my videos. Now, in addition to that, don't forget, leave your comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what you think the overall price tag should be, the provisions included. And if you think this is going to help out other people, be sure to share it out on social media platforms. Now, in addition to that, don't forget, if this is your first time here and you want to stay up to date, smash that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell, come join the viewing community, come join the Ram fam, we like to call it. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff: stimulus, infrastructure, Congress, the economy, unemployment, anything having to do with our money. And if you got any specific questions for me, be sure to shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3, which is by far the best way to get a hold of me if you got any specific questions. And yes, I go through all my own DMs, and I'll do my best to respond to any questions that you got. Give me a little time because I get a lot of them, but you guys, I'll go through and do my best to help you out. And always use caution here on YouTube, because we get a ton of comments and then scammers come in here and they try to pose as me. They take my picture, they put my name on there, and they say, oh, contact my assistant on WhatsApp. And then they ask for your personal info or for you to donate the money. You guys, that is not me, okay? I don't have an assistant, I don't have a WhatsApp, and I don't randomly ask you to give me money in the comments, okay? I'm just here to get you caught up on the latest. So with that being said, let's go ahead and do that. Let's dive into these articles, get you caught up on the latest, so that way you can know what might be coming here for the new price tag of the stimulus bill. All right, you guys, so as always, link in the description below to this article that just came out. I always cite my sources so that way you can see them for yourself and know I'm not just making up random stuff. Now, the article from the Washington Post says, Democrats begin to narrow their differences on Biden's agenda bill. And it says Democrats, in a flurry of private talks, are beginning to narrow their differences over the size of President Biden's sweeping safety net bill as liberals signal sizable concessions on the size of what could be the most far-reaching social legislation in years. Now, in a virtual meeting with about a dozen liberal Democrats on Monday, Biden suggested a range of $1.9 trillion to $2.2 trillion. So around $2 trillion, they're saying, is what Biden is suggesting. But wait, there's more. According to the people that are knowledgeable with the private discussions, significantly lower than the initial $3.5 trillion suggested plan. Now, Representative Pramila Jayapal, leader of the influential Congressional Progressive Caucus, pushed back, according to three of the people who spoke on conditions of anonymity to discuss the internal deliberations, and she countered with a minimum spending amount of $2.5 trillion, saying a range from that figure to 2.9 could cover key programs. So right now, Pramila Jayapal, leader of the Progressives, who is speaking on their behalf, is saying 2.9 to 2.5 should be the number. Now, we also have 1.9 to 2.2, so we will see if they try to meet somewhere in the middle. Now, reading on, it says still the gap between the 2.2 trillion maximum offer of Biden and the 2.5 trillion minimum suggested by Jayapal represents a striking narrowing of the differences from just last week. And it is unclear whether Democratic centrists like Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia or Kyrsten Sinema of Arizona would agree to a figure in this range. But Biden has been frequently in contact with them in recent days and has suggested that he knows what they would accept. So if he already knows and he's suggesting 1.9 to 2.2, kind of makes me think, and I'm just speculating here, this is just opinion, that maybe Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin would be okay with the $2 trillion price tag. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, meanwhile, other influential progressives such as Bernie Sanders have continued to lobby for $3.5 trillion as the figure. They've already said they've compromised. They don't want to come down. They were asking for all of these other provisions like reoccurring checks, unemployment extensions, and they're saying it's not in there and we've already compromised. Now, Jayapal told Biden in a closed-door meeting that House liberals want a number that is closer to $3 trillion. And one of the people said that feeling that even that figure was a major compromise from their initial goals. Now, the 1.9 trillion to 2.2 trillion range has been viewed as a target that could be acceptable to Manchin and Sinema, and the two powerful holdout Democratic senators from the party's moderate wing. Now, Manchin has stressed in public that he does not want to spend more than 1.5 trillion, citing that the potential impact on the nation's debt, despite Biden's assurance that the bill is paid for. Sinema, who has been negotiating directly with the White House, has declined to publicly telegraph her demands. Now, in a statement, Jayapal called Monday's meeting very productive and added progressives fought to get the full Biden agenda back on track. And now we are beginning negotiations to deliver it to working people, families, and our communities. So you guys, that is the latest information that has been released. Details of the negotiations. We'll be seeing if they come to an agreement. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But we're hearing on one hand, the progressives who said they wanted more. We're hearing that they might come down to 2.9 to 2.5. And we're hearing that the moderates, they might consider coming up to 1.9 to 2.2. Let me know if you think they're going to meet somewhere in the middle between 2.2 and 2.5 for the next stimulus bill. Now, what does this all mean for the stimulus bill and the provisions? It means they're getting cut, and we're going to be seeing what provisions they're going to be reducing, shrinking, or removing from the bill if this is the case. Now, also keep in mind the fact, though, that the new fiscal year has hit, which means that another reconciliation bill is also at their disposal as well. So you guys, that is the latest. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think is going to be unfolding here? I will be sure to keep you up to date, as I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot more details rolling out. And especially if you missed my last video, be sure to check it out, as we're going to be seeing another vote to increase the debt ceiling in the Senate tomorrow. And that will be determining the fate of the stimulus, infrastructure, and debt ceiling increase, as if that does not go through, that measure will have to end up in the stimulus reconciliation bill, which will delay its arrival, we're hearing, 3 to 6 weeks. So you guys, I'll be sure to keep you up to date here on the channel as news rolls out. And again, as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you have made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, take a quick second to smash that like button. I would appreciate it. Helps out the channel a ton. Leave your comments. Share this out if you think it's going to help out other people. If this is your first time here, come join the viewing community. Come join the Ram fam, we like to call it. I'll keep you up to date on all this stuff so you can know what's going on. And I know there's a lot taking place, so I'll do my best to keep you up to date. And if you got any specific questions for me, shoot them to me in the DM on Instagram at SteveRam3. But with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next video. Remember, regular uploads are usually 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and random uploads throughout the day. However, right now, with all the news going on, just turn on the notifications, because I'm just uploading videos as the news rolls out. And with that being said, you guys, hope this reaches you well. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.